Got us team 1 with Conan. We got X2, Haster in the Shadow Priest, as well as Lat and Spart versus my boy Seamark making a return on the main. Might even be first. Duras on the team as a Hunter. Lacer together with Sensei on double Monk, and Makima on the Subtlety rogue. Oh, the Blade kind of sort of match, but not really. Wait, this is Seamark versus Spart off the bat. Double Arcane gonna be an invis for the Knight of Seamark, while Spart trying to go for a proper invis of his own. Gonna be a Ring of Frost, trying to go for poly onto Seamark. Does end up interrupting. Wait a second, no. Spart ended up getting juked out, taken out an interrupt of his own. Spart trying to see if he can maybe get himself a setup versus Seamark. Got himself, I think, what looks like a Blink build or Shimmer build potentially. Got himself big blaster damage. Both of them touching the Mage on one another. Gonna be Seamark trying to see if he can blast out the damage onto Spart. Spart trying to do the same. Who's got the burst right now? Looks like Spart was not able to get himself a proper full burst with the healing surge. We're gonna be mad. Ice Block. Oh my god, looks like Seamark was able to get himself his Arcane surge before Spart, and was able to put pressure on him with that touch of the Magi. Right before the touch of the Magi was able to just disintegrate him entirely, he was able to get himself a proper setup there with full burst and full put pressure with a barrage at the end. Nothing he could do, I think, at the end there. My goodness, Conan charging in, going to be immediate breath in his face as a Ring of Frost trying to get set up. Seamark does have himself a proper blink. Another Ring of Frost getting set up to follow. Conan does leap in with a bit of a Odin's Fury, trying to see if he can rip past Seamark, put some bleeds on the guy, but the freeze is going to stop his approach, giving Seamark a bit of an opportunity to get himself a reset there. Full avatars available for Conan. Does not have a way to break out of these slows though whatsoever. Going to be big blasters on the Seamark. Does have himself a massive defensive. Touch of the Magic has accumulated quite a bit of damage though. Is it going to be enough right now? Barrage looks like was able to mitigate it, a lot of it with the Reflect together with a Rage Regeneration. So all that damage kind of on the lower end. Big blast by Seamark. Does go for the blink. Conan has no health whatsoever. I think it might just be over. Oh, the touch of the Magic does end up slamming him down entirely. Is Haster going to be next? Looks like it is going to be Haster trying to go for a bit of an honor duel with Seamark. Give Seamark at least kind of an opportunity to maybe recover some cooldowns. Touch of the Magic. Haster does go in for the stun. Seamark can't blink. Does get a proper intro. Does he have a big go? He's going to go for a bit of Ring of Fire. Does not have himself the big one-shot setup, but definitely still quite a bit of damage versus Haster either way. As the man is burning to the Ring of Fire. Wants to stay away from Seamark, but has to walk through the flames and take damage to the face. Going to be Seamark trying to go for a bit of CC as well. Does get rooted. It's going to end up going for either reversion that or an alter time. I think it was an alter time that time. As Haster kind of lower on health, silence to follow, invis by Seamark with a shadow meld, knocking Haster out in the open with a barrage. Is definitely needs to get himself another big setup, has himself full power burst ready to go. Ring of Fire right around the corner, trying to go for big Arcane Surge. Does he have mobility? He does get himself the Arcane Surge, full damage is at the ready, wants to go for a full setup. If he just gets an interrupt on a Haster, it might just be over for Haster. Does himself, oh, big barrage, oh, this is enough, oh my god. Disperse, I think Haster was trying to see if he can get out of there, might have been interrupted at last second there too. Last broken charging out, but realizes, wait, this Mage is still bursting. He still got damage. He still got the big barrages and missiles. I better be a little bit more careful trying to use the line of sight in order to find himself a better angle. Invis out of Seamark. I think it was shadow mode or a proper invis either way. Into a full poly. Does get himself a Ring of Fire. He can't really approach or back away from Seamark without taking damage. Trying to see if he can get up close and personal. Kind of blinking all over the place. He's going to go for the big Dragon Rage window. See if we're backing up out of there. This is where the Evoker is at the scariest. All the time, in order to give him plenty of distance. Lathmark trying to see if he can catch up to him. He just needs to get one disintegrator on the guy to start beaming him down. Trying to go for a root. Doesn't quite connect. Barrage to follow for Seamark as soon as he gets himself line of sight. Trying to use the pillar as well as a line of sight in order to be able to maybe build up some damage. To touch of the Magic. Big Arcane Blast to follow. Barrage right after. More missiles to follow. Lath is going to take quite a bit of damage. There's also a wall for this one together with mobility. Needs to be very careful with Seamark in terms of his burst. Does get interrupted on his fire on Frost. Still got plenty of damage though. That fire together with Instacast is doing quite a lot of damage. I see Seamark has himself all the time. Lath can't really counter the all the time right now. May just want to be doing what he's doing right now. Back it up out of there, but he definitely needs to make sure he doesn't get interrupted with Barrage. Oh! Seamark pulled him behind one side of the pillar to all the time to the opposite side entirely. With the X spam charging out next, it's going to be immediate freeze. Does end up interrupting himself. But Seamark reflected and interrupt back at himself, which gives him precognition. Give him a bunch of haste and immunity to CC. Wait, exit spam leaves? Wait, exit spam leaves? Off of that? Huh? I'm sorry? He's like, yeah, no? What? Not fighting that. Really? Okay. Gonna be Conan over on team 1, Haster on that team. LFG sucks joining the sub bro. Gonna be more Joel, the Elemental Shaman first up, and Spart over in the back waiting for his turn. And it looks like Laysum getting a chance to play. We are missing somebody over on team 2 by the looks of it. I think it was a... It's not Kevin. It's not Seabark. It's not Sensei. Who was it that we're missing on team 2? Hopefully they'll be able to load in maybe. Maybe it's give him like a second or two. Or it was. I mean, not like team 2 really needs more bodies. They're really just like, I mean, some... Oh, Makima. There you go. Never get 5 man. I was going to say, the team 2 is pretty stacked up between like Kevin, Seabark, and Sensei, who's been in these duels plenty of times. They definitely got themselves a nice team setup. Laysa trying to go for a bit of a reset versus Mordrill, backing up behind the boxes while Mordrill does have the Fire Elemental out in the front, looking for a bit of recovery, but so is Laysa. Cooldowns wise, Laysa actually has enough to really make something happen here. Does go for a Thunderfist really early on, try to see if he can make a play. No more Serenity available. Maybe they can still push in some pressure, just rotate defensives, but at this point, do you actually want to do that? More Joel trying to find himself a good angle versus Laysa, needs to find a way to catch the monk and maybe get him out of the behind boxes. Knock back off the leg sweep, does give him a bit of a breather, making sure that the stun does not get full value. Root into Laysa, trying to go for a bit of an Ice Fury. If you can combine that together with Earth Shocks, you're going to be in a great spot. Especially if you can do Earth Shock, Frost Shock combos, that is going to be fantastic. Lightning Last and trick out of Laysa, perfect opportunity for Mordrill to maybe establish some CC. Going to be Laysa, big defensive shield coming up as the Spore Claw gets triggered as they're super low on health. Mordrill just needs to give himself a bit of a breather and he'll be okay. Interrupted on that Hex, needs something to survive this, maybe in a bit of trouble, does go for the root. Laysa breaking out of that fairly quickly, rolling towards Mordrill into a quick touch of death. As long as they get him low enough, the touch of death just ends up capitalizing on it. And Laysa actually was able to hold on to a good portion of the defensives. I don't even know if they'll be able to use them. If LFG is careful, yeah, kidney shot, cheap shot, literally nothing you can do in that situation. Unless you got a trinket against a sub-rogue, there's nothing you can do. Monk is one of those classes that will die in a stun. Bash into a Cyclone by Seabark, trying to see if you can get some kind of a trinket, maybe anything out of LFG. That or just get some cooldowns ready to go. As LFG goes in for Invis, immediately try to see if you can knock it back. Are there still dots on him? Are there no dots in here? Wasn't it a Sunfire, Moonfire, and everything? What happened to that? Sap, as Seabark does pick up the eye, LFG trying to make sure he gets himself a proper opener. Does Seabark trinket out of this one? Depending on what Rogue brings into the opener, I think it could. Actually going to be a War Stomp, Cyclone, full clone. It's going to give Seabark an opportunity to at least catch up a little bit of resources. Yet another clone to LFG. Doesn't quite connect the clone. Actually, it might have used it a little early. Going to be full burst. LFG does go in for a Cloak of Shadows. Barks going up for Seabark as LFG does go in for a bit of a re-stealth, in fact. Maybe if only Seabark would have, I don't know, thrashed the guy. He was right next to him for like a second, but I guess you don't really know where the Rogue is going to go. But I guess every time the Rogue goes in for a Cloak of Shadows, and if you're in Bear, definitely put a Thrash on him. Actually, would you be able to immune the Thrash with a Cloak? I guess depending what kind of a Cloak he's using, either native Cloak, that or like the new Veil of Darkness Cloak, which can prevent and remove physical effects like a bleed, or even a stun in some cases. Or like a Karma, in fact. LFG is out in the open. Seabark trying to see if he can get an angle on the guy. Is he going to have to go for another stun Cyclone combo? I feel like he has to, right? Sun, Cyclone, maybe gonna trick out LFG, just try to get himself a bit of resources. It's interesting how Boomies have to do that, just in order to get himself a proper go. Gouged by the Rogue, maybe has himself a proper go. It's gonna be ruined by Seabark, trying to get some dots on the LFG. Bear form, I think just trying to maintain maybe some kind of dot pressure. It's gonna be knockback. LFG building up for a bit of a kidney shot. He knows he wants to go for a proper kidney go. And Seabark kind of limited on what he could really do. As soon as he comes out into a Boomkin form, Barks can immediately, because the kidney shot comes out right after. Cheap shot again. Mad damage by the Rogue. Gonna go for DFA to see if he can immune some damage. I don't know if the Eviscerate does a lot of damage with the DFA. Maybe it should. 10% more. Gonna be Cyclone on Seabark, but a blind trinket is gonna be to follow with advantage by LFG. It's just kind of hanging around next to Seabark. Is this over? Maybe you can finally go for a little bit of recovery. Definitely needs to get himself some cast-offs here and there. Cloak of Shadows to follow. Back in the bear form again. Under pressure, like right now, LFG. You just keep him in bear. Seabark can't really do much about the situation. Can't go in the offensive at all. And eventually, just over time, I think you just end up losing either way, though. Seabark trying to go for a bit of recovery. Gouge to follow. Does himself maybe some kind of a heal. Bear form, maybe finally heal available there. DFH, rush it out after the Druid. Does try to go for a kick. Missing it entirely. Seabark can maybe go for a bit of recovery. Back in the bear form. I think it's just over. Just the constant pressure out of the Rogue, not letting him play offensively or defensively. Literally just stuck in bear form. Not much you can do. Cheap shot by Makima. as LFG got nothing available. Yeah, this vanishes too, honestly. He just literally attacked you. He just PvE'd you down. That's what feels so weird, C-Mark. And LFG, cheap shot, DR'd. Wait a second, maybe? LFG still has a chance. Makima, if you vanish right now, maybe you'll be okay? You need to vanish right now? Get a shot? Yeah. Cheat death? Nah, there's no way. There's no way. Yeah, I was gonna say for a second. There's just no way. That's rough, man. Kevin gonna be up next versus LFG as a rogue looking for a full recovery. Kevin, you got one eye over here and no eyes on that side. You may want to pick up an eye, but honestly, maybe saving them for later. If you have consecration right now, now would be a perfect time to do it. I don't know if you're running normal consecration. He might be running the Blades of Justice consecration, honestly. Bubble for out Kevin. Stun over LFG does not really have an answer. No vanish, only cheat death is available. Big hammer hanging over the man's head. Right now, LFG is on a full retreat, trying to see if he can back up out of there. Kevin's blind will not be able to hold on for too long, though. It's going to be a shadow mill to follow. Wait a second. Does get himself one last little reset. 28 seconds left until the vanish is back up. So for LFG, honestly got himself a decent setup. Kevin trying to see if he can maybe fight through LFG, goes back in a re-stealth. Does a Wake of Ashes get him out in the open? It does. So LFG, do you have a stun available right now? No trinket. That's going to be a full hodge as he comes some evasion. Does he go down? Worst up for a second. Oh, Kevin does end up slamming down through him. He just held his ground on this little corner. Did not let the rogue kind of tilt him off the face of the world. Did not even go picking up the eyes. He just let the rogue come to him so he could slam him down every single time he opens back up. As we did dive into pretty high into dampening, 12 minutes, almost 12 minutes into the game, 62% dampener. Haster got himself full PI. And we're going to see if Kevin even has a chance to stand here. He burned everything into the rogue. Maybe lay on hands? No, it looks like the dots from Haster do end up eradicating the paladin bit by bit. But again, Haster mostly walked to a pally that used everything against the rogue, everything to slam him down, as everybody ended up flacking him down entirely. Disperse out for Haster, got himself a little bit of a divine bleed, trying to get himself recovery versus Sensei. It's gonna be a rough one. Monk versus Shadow Priest. I think Monk wins most of these. In cap, Haster does go in for a trinket, Shadow Crush, and unless he's got someone right now, I think it just might be over. Got himself Fade for a second. Fear. Power Word Life, it's barely doing anything with 67% dampening, but both Sensei and Haster are two classes that rely off of healing, so having this high dampening does put them both in a hard, tight spot. Haster maybe can get himself some kind of CC. Sensei with a Zuen, that's going to be a lot of damage. I think it just takes him out with a touch of death at the end. Either Conan going to be next up or potentially Spark. Charging in, immediate port out of Sensei, seeing that charge out of the warrior, trying to see if he can get away. Stormbolt to follow. Conan right now is a perfect opportunity for you to maybe make a play. It's going to be high dampening. You're not going to be able to get too much healing for either one of the teams. Disarm onto Conan, does go for Odin's Fury as soon as he gets his weapons back. Got himself the avatar and everything available. Sensei looking to maybe back up out of there, but right now the monk doesn't really have much in terms of self-healing. Conan may just want to pop every single defense and just try to see if he can fight through a karma. Legs him onto Sensei, trying to see if he can reverse the damage of the Conan. Does have himself a big defensive, whatever healing you can. It's not going to do much for you, but whatever you can send, and Sensei would maybe be helpful. Stormbolt to follow. I think it's just over. The images are up on Conan right now, and eventually he's going to go down. Got himself rallying, cried to give him whatever last bit of health at the very end. Fist of Fury with a kick at the end, and Sensei does end up taking him out. Sensei does not have any healing at all, so defensively he does have some stuff coming up. He may have to play passively for a little bit here. Spart will not let that be a chance at all. Touching the Mage onto Sensei, Karma to follow. Is this what Spart is going to try to see if he can find it? Immediate Ice Block just to remove that Karma, so you keep blasting. I think it's just over, right? Touching the Mage. Oh wait, Breath to follow. This needs one more hit, one more barrage, anything right now. I think it's just over, right? Oh, that height dampening, yeah, that's rough, man. That is rough. LFG does pick up 3, Sensei with 2. And then Spart finishes it off. Yeah, I think what we may have to do is we may just have to have rogues go last, boys, yeah?